Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fit for All Phases podcast. My name is Heather Anderson. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach. So, I want to talk today about the big rocks of fitness. So, when we were talking about the fitness narrative and writing a new fitness narrative for ourselves, we need to answer what, okay? And one of the questions that will come up is, what do I do? Okay, so you need to do the big rocks of fitness. That's what. These are your non negotiables, these are the fundamentals. For instance, number one, resistance training, and that's what we're going to really focus on today, is the big mover. It's a big rock. All right. And I'm not talking about just, moving pink baby weights around. I'm talking about using bands, body weight, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, machines, cables, any mode. And there are many of resistance training, but you also have to make it challenging. So what I tell my clients is the last 2 repetitions of any set should be challenging. And if they're not, then maybe we need to increase the weight. All right. So we're not talking about just like, kind of coasting through our workout and our resistance training. We are talking about challenging and making it harder over time. In other words, progressive overload. So that means you either add weight, you add sets, you add reps, you add timing and pauses. That'll help too. That'll make a weight field more difficult. We just really need to push the resistance training as far as we comfortably can. Now, I know we are all unique and we have unique physiologies, and you really should listen to your body and do what's right for your body. There's no one size fits all resistance training program, but for pretty much everyone, you should make sure that it's challenging and that it does get harder over time, because that's where the progress is. Now, what kind of progress do you get when you do resistance training and apply a progressive overload to it? Well, for one, you gain muscle, which is good. Muscle is very important. When you have muscle, you're burning calories simply at rest, because muscles require calories, require energy to either build or maintain. All right. So muscle is very metabolically active. Now, of course, there are some arguments as to what degree they're active, but they are definitely active because it does take a lot of energy to build the muscle in the recovery phase, which is the day after your workout and even beyond. And they use calories just to exist. All right. You need to have those calories there to actually just allow you to keep the muscle that you do have. All right. Resistance training with progressive overload and challenging loads will also, create more bone. As that muscle is pulling on the bone releases these substances, and these make it grow, make it stronger. So you really need to make sure that you are doing that one big rock of fitness of resistance training so that you can save your bone or build new bone. Or if you are in osteopenia or osteoporosis, keep that bone that you have. Sometimes you can reverse those also with proper programming and nutrition, but you definitely need to try to increase that bone or keep that bone by doing resistance training that is challenging enough to pull on that bone hard enough so it reacts, and with building properties so that you can build that bone. All right. What else? When we use challenging weights, we're also making the joint stronger. All right. Again, because there's the same pulling on the joint. So our soft tissue, our ligaments, and our tendons will get stronger over time if you challenge them. But you have to do that carefully too, because they don't actually get strong as quickly as muscles do. All right. So they have a bit of a lag period. So you have to really tread carefully when applying overload on the joints. Right. What else does building muscle do by doing resistance training that includes progressive overload? Well, it makes you more capable. All right. So say you could do more squats before, and now you've added more weight or more reps or more sets. Well, now you clearly are more capable. If you are even able to increase all those factors, then you are definitely increasing your capability. And we need to preserve that capability, especially on those fundamental movements, those functional movements like squatting and hinging and pushing and pulling. All right. We need to maintain that capability. Why? Well, because you want to remain independent. If you can't get off of the toilet because you can't even get your body weight out of a chair or from a seated position, just from a seated position in a squat position, then likely you are going to lose that ability later in life. And we don't want that. We don't want to have to call on someone to help us get up off of the toilet or out of a chair, right? There's just no way to live. So, that one big rock of fitness that is a non negotiable, it's a fundamental, it's a must do is resistance training and making it challenging and harder over time. All right. So, we really need to employ that. So when you're answering that question of what do I do to fill out your fitness narrative, resistance training with progressive overload is definitely what you need to do. And again, like I said, you can do body weight, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, bands, just as long as it gets more difficult over time. So I'm just going to leave you with that little nugget today. And we will talk about more of the big rocks of fitness later. And I believe we're probably going to cover recovery next. All right, because that is also a non negotiable. So until then, I will see you soon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.